Hello dear viewers who are watching the channel. Today, we will take you to a special journey far out at sea, where modern fishing boats work tirelessly day and night to cast nets. Where resilient fishermen, regardless of danger, drift in the middle of the ocean to catch herring, a small silver fish that brings huge revenue to the fishing industry. This is not only a job to make a living, but also a pride, a life, a flesh and blood bond of thousands of people with the ocean. Every year, when the herring season begins, a series of boats from major seaports in Alaska are busy preparing fishing gear. Loading fuel, food and setting sail, they head to fertile fishing grounds, where schools of herring gather in the hundreds of tons. Moving with the currents and temperature of the sea, that is when the quest between humans and nature begins, a race full of strategy, patience and high technology. Modern herring boats are equipped with fish tracking radar systems. Sonar systems that scan the seabed, and giant nets that are several kilometers long. Unlike simple hand line or trawl fishing, the purse seine method is the main technique that helps fishermen catch entire schools of herring in just a few short minutes. Once the radar detects a school of fish, the captain quickly releases the net to form a large circle under the water. Then tightens the bottom of the net like a giant bag. Everything inside the circle is retained. The scene is extremely impressive. Millions of silver herrings thrashing violently in the net. The sea water boils as if there is an earthquake under the ocean. The entire crew immediately enters a series of actions that are coordinated down to the second. Someone controls the net lifting system. Someone operates the fish suction machine. Someone checks the tanks. Someone coordinates the capacity of the air conditioner to preserve the fish as soon as they are brought on board. Every minute is gold, because if delayed, hundreds of tons of fish will lose quality, affecting the selling price. Herring is a famous fish rich in omega-3, consumed heavily in the US, Europe and Asia. In addition to being used for food processing, they are also processed into fish oil, animal feed, organic fertilizer and other medical products. The value of each sea trip can be up to hundreds of thousands of dollars. And during the season, a fishing boat can earn millions of dollars if the weather is favorable and the output is abundant. Behind those huge numbers are sweat, blood, and even fitful sleep on the big waves. Fishermen have to face waves up to 5 to 6 meters high. Temperatures that sometimes drop below zero. Ice and snow covering the deck. The risk of getting their nets stuck. Engine failure or even drifting if there is a storm. But they still go to sea, because the ocean has become flesh and blood, an indispensable place in life. The herring fishing journey is not simply a journey to make a living. But also a journey to conquer, a journey to affirm the position of humans in front of majestic nature. Alaskan fishermen have inspired many generations with their diligence, optimism and unyielding will in the face of adversity. On each ship, laughter resounds when the hold is full of fish. Eyes light up with joy after hard days at sea. All like a silent and sacred epic. Not stopping at fishing, the ships are also equipped with an on-site processing system. After being sucked up, The fish will be classified by machine, washed, and quickly cooled at sub-zero temperatures to ensure maximum freshness. Some ships have mini processing workshops right on board, where workers pack, freeze and prepare a series of containers to bring to shore. Just like that, every day at sea, hundreds of tons of herring are brought back, contributing to the global supply chain and maintaining the U.S. maritime economy. We are witnessing a giant industry operating on the sea, where every net, every engine, every small operation plays a key role. Each fishing boat is a mobile factory with dozens of people operating continuously for 20 hours a day. They sleep in shifts, eat simple meals, and chat with each other amid the sound of waves and engines. Teamwork, love of the sea, and the desire to get rich from fishing are the glue that binds them into a sustainable collective in the middle of the vast ocean. The journey to catch herring is also a story of adaptation. Herring do not stay in one place for long. They constantly move according to the seasons, temperature, and sunlight. Therefore, fishermen must constantly update information from satellites, marine radar, and data from research centers to adjust their fishing schedules. Each trip to sea is a big bet, and success only comes to those who are sensitive, diligent, and experienced. Over the decades, the herring fishery has created hundreds of thousands of jobs from boats, fishing ports to processing plants on land. This is not only a source of income but also a source of cultural pride for the people of Alaska and many coastal areas of the United States. The existence of the herring fishery has also led to the development of a series of supporting industries such as fishing gear manufacturing. Engine maintenance, coal transport, shipbuilding, and seafood export. When returning to port, the laden fish ships will be anchored at large piers, where dozens of refrigerated container trucks are waiting. The process of unloading fish, weighing, quality inspection and transportation is carried out quickly under strict coordination. Just a few hours after docking, hundreds of tons of herring are in cold storage to prepare for the long journey to supermarkets. Restaurants and food factories around the world. Each herring from the distant ocean becomes part of the meals of millions of families, contributing to global food security. If you have the opportunity to drift along the herring boats, you will feel the different rhythm of life of the people living in the middle of the sea. They do not need many amenities, but are always full of laughter, life stories, dreams about the shore, about a successful harvest, and about a brighter future from the sweat pouring down on the big waves. They are the embodiment of an indomitable spirit, a symbol of resilience in the harsh nature. Ladies and gentlemen, when the sun begins to rise over the distant horizon in the middle of the cold ocean, the fishing boats still do not stop working. After a long night at sea, the sailors continue their work with enthusiasm as if they have never known fatigue. On the deck, each batch of herring is continuously sucked up from the deep underwater net compartment. Passed through the conveyor system, flowing like a lively silver stream. The rumbling sound of machinery, the sound of fish beating their bodies. The shouts of crew members blend into a symphony of labor at sea. It is a sound that only those who have lived in the middle of the ocean can understand its sacred and moving meaning. From the mechanic who always has to watch the engine so it doesn't stop in the middle of the ocean. To the people who handle each net weighing tens of tons. All play an indispensable role in the operation of the entire ship. Each ship is a miniature world, with a cockpit, a bedroom, a kitchen, a fish processing workshop, and even a short rest and entertainment area. But what unites everyone is not the comfort, but the team spirit and unspoken understanding. In the midst of the vast waves, we can only rely on each other to overcome all hardships. The herring fishing season does not last all year round. It takes place in batches, sometimes only a few weeks to reach hundreds of thousands of tons. Therefore, every day at sea is a race against time. A successful catch can help the ship collect 50 to 100 tons of fish. On average, each ship makes 3 to 5 net drops per day, depending on the density of the fish school and sea conditions. But not always lucky. There are days when the ship goes out to sea for 10 hours straight without seeing a single school of fish. That is when the experience, intuition and perseverance of the captain comes into play. They scan the signal from the sonar system, call and exchange with other ships, track the direction of the cold water current, all just to find the largest, most effective school of herring. Herring is a schooling species, moves extremely fast, and can gather into such a dense mass that the sonar scans it as a giant black mass moving on the seabed. That is when the ship must quickly cast the net and close the circle accurately. Just a few minutes late and the whole school can disintegrate. One delay, one small mistake can make a whole day's work go to waste. That's why the ring net method requires the coordination, precision and decisiveness of the entire crew. The whole ship is like a giant machine operating perfectly in the middle of the ocean. And when the last nets of the herring season are brought up, ending a fruitful journey in the cold sea, it is also the time when a new season begins, the season of the resilient blue crabs. The sea does not sleep, and the ships do not stop. They continue their journey south, to warmer waters, where the blue crabs are entering their strongest growth period of the year. Unlike herring, which gather in large schools in deep water and are caught by purse seine or trawl, blue crabs live near the seabed, often hiding under layers of sand or seagrass, requiring completely different fishing techniques. Crab traps, large in size and intelligently designed, are dropped by fishermen on the seabed along fixed routes. Each cage contains fresh bait to attract blue crabs to crawl in. And once inside, they are very difficult to escape. Like herring, blue crabs grow quickly, have high economic value and are popular around the world thanks to their sweet, firm, and nutritious meat. Each crab season lasts from late spring to early autumn, and specialized fishing boats can collect hundreds of tons of blue crabs per trip. The sight of crew members standing together, diligently pulling each heavy crab cage onto the deck in the dawn light in the middle of the ocean is a testament to the resilience, determination and faith of seafarers. In the middle of the vast ocean, crab traps are dropped in an extremely scientific process. Each boat can carry thousands of traps, which are numbered and equipped with GPS for easy retrieval after a few hours or overnight. When the time is right, the crew will pull up each cage, and if it is the right time for crabs to be in season, the scene inside each cage is extremely impressive. Big, healthy blue crabs, full of vitality, spreading their claws, sparkling in the early morning sun. After being pulled up, the crabs will be sorted right on the deck. Crabs of commercial size, wide shells, strong claws, bright colors, will be carefully selected and put into tanks of cold seawater to keep them fresh. The rest, including small crabs, female crabs carrying eggs, will be released back into the sea, ensuring sustainable exploitation, avoiding the destruction of natural resources. Each specialized fishing vessel can collect from 50 to 150 tons of blue crabs per trip, depending on the scale and time of operation, with prices ranging from a few dollars to tens of dollars per kilogram in the international market. This output brings huge income to fishermen and businesses. In particular, crabs processed according to export standards, such as steaming and freezing, or separating the meat and packaging the legs, will have many times higher value, contributing to raising the U.S. seafood brand on the world map. In the ship's modern cold storage, after being sorted, blue crabs will be put into temperature-controlled saltwater tanks, or undergo preliminary processing depending on the requirements of the contract. Some ships are also equipped with automatic steaming lines. Crabs are steamed in a high-pressure hot steam environment, then immediately transferred to a rapid cooling chamber and vacuum packaged. This entire process takes only a few hours, preserving the sweetness and firmness of the crabs, creating high-quality products, ready to supply to international restaurants, hotels, and supermarkets. In a corner of the deck, the sailors are used to flipping cages, removing crabs, and checking each shiny green shell. These are people who live with the sea, understand the sea, and respect the sea. They work tirelessly, from dawn to dusk, in the rumbling sound of the ship's engine, in the salty air, and the wind blowing through their tangled hair.